Naming your podcast might seem like the simple part, but it's actually one of the more difficult and important bits to get right. Essentially, it's your brand, and often the first thing potential listeners are going to see along with your cover art, so it really needs to grab their attention instantly. For example, Creative Rebels, which is the name of a good existing podcast, that name gives you just enough information that you kind of know it's going to be about creative people who are going against the grain, but it leaves you wanting to find out more about them and to click play. So the next thing to think about is the length and the format of your podcast. Now, there aren't any sort of set rules for how to do this. For the length, a good podcast doesn't have to be an hour long and isn't necessarily better than one that's, say, 15 minutes long. That's entirely down to the content. But generally, you should decide if you kind of want to stick to shorter and therefore easier to make podcasts, or longer and more labour-intensive ones. The style of your podcast is also a matter of preference and is also going to be determined by what your content is. You can choose to do an interview, a solo show, you can be co-hosted, or even do a docudrama where you're going out to locations and recording interviews there. So again, there aren't any hard and fast rules, and you don't have to be too consistent, but it's good to have a think about which format works best for your topic and audience.